Hi, Jamie.
Hey, Rebs.
How are you doing?
I'm doing fucking great. How are
Yeah,
you?
I'm amazing. I'm fucking on cloud nine, baby.
You're on
Literally,
cloud nine.
literally in
Yeah,
the
you are. You're
clouds.
just a LA angel. Okay.
And you're an Omaha devil.
Ugh. Okay, we're just gonna get down to the brass tacks here. So we have a special guest um that goes by the name Oracle. Oracle, we found a video of Oracle on TikTok.
My favorite app on the interwebs. I am on it every night. It's an addiction. And I just came across that video of Oracle, and they were talking about coming face to face with what they perceived as a creature that could be
Reptilian.
Reptilian, exactly.
Yes.
And I was like, Jamie, look at this video. This is fascinating. We
Outrageous.
need to have them on. Outrageous, amazing. Like, tell me more. So reached out. Luckily, they got back to us and they were down to chat. So we have a treat for you guys. They are going to come on and tell us about their experience and their other specialties, their gifts, or what have you.
It's more or less like it's a mystery box, and
we're going to learn with you guys as we go.
We're learning as we go, just like you said.
We know nothing.
We know nothing, and we live by that. So
yeah,
naturally, we're on this roller coaster together.
Yeah,
to say the least. So.
And then we're also going to talk about our experience traveling to Area 51 recently and our adventure, our somewhat scary and hilarious adventure that ensues. So you're going to get to hear our fun story about that. Let's set a bomb off right now and get into our facts of the day.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jamie Montez, and I'm a scientist.
And I'm Rebecca Knox, and I'm an actress and filmmaker. And we are
Slice Me Nice.
So, Jamie, why don't you share your fact of the day?
Okay, so my fun fact of the day is Mars has the biggest volcano, and I love jumping in volcanoes. Everyone, just let everyone know, Joe versus the Volcano is one of my favorite movies and one that I live by.
Very jump into volcanoes
and I get spit out alive. So what do you know? Mars has the biggest volcano.
That makes sense.
What's your fun fact?
Well, my fun fact is, I feel like this is a very Taurus fact of me, but I'm going to own it. NASA spacesuits cost $12 million each.
What? Are you serious?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. $12 million for a space shoot.
A shoot. Yeah. Shoot me in the head because that's so fucking insane.
That's a house. That's 5 houses.
I was going to say that's a lot of houses. That's a house, actually.
I don't even own a house, so don't get the wrong idea, people.
Yeah.
I don't understand how much houses cost because I'm not in the market anytime soon.
We were driving and we were talking about buying a house, and we're like, if we
with what money?
If we had 20% if we had 20% of $2 million,
how much is mortgage down payment? And we were both like guessing, and it's honestly really easy math.
Ding dong. It's very very easy,
right?
It's very easy. It's 400,000 because it's like when you go out to eat and you pay.
Yeah, and then you double it.
Double it. It's like duh.
Yeah, you move the decimal over.
I think it's the millions because no one's working with millions. I don't work with millions.
Neither do I. No, that's why I was like, that's why NASA spacesuit, 12 million. And then you see all these movies about space astronauts whose suits are malfunctioning and then they're suffocating. It's like, if you're spending $12 million on one of these suits, they better fucking keep you alive.
Yeah.
I have no idea. Have you seen Dune with those suits?
Yeah.
Where they recycle their pee and
water.
sweat and blood and tears. Yeah, I love that. I just
Yeah.
love that. I'm like, yeah, I want to sustain myself off of my tears and pee.
Mostly pee.
Definitely.
You want to know a fun fact? And then we're going to jump right into it. It's not a fun fact, but when I was in school, I don't know if I made this up. Okay.
Story of our lives.
But I think that this is real. I heard this. If you drink your morning pee and you drink it, people use that as a way of healing if you're sick. How that works, I don't know.
Where
but
did you learn
because
that?
I learned it because I was
Is that real?
I think it is real.
Are you
I was
sure?
I was in I think it was like Kim 1 or something like that, Kim 2, and I don't
chemistry,
remember
as in chemistry.
As chemistry.
Okay,
and
I never took that class.
My professor at the time, he was not well, but he would come and like talk about weird shit, and I think that he said that, and I'm remembering it because I was like, that how is that even possible? Because if you're really ill and your kidneys are refreshing, or not refreshing, but recycling everything that you put in, they're a filter of your body. Why would you want to drink your urine?
Okay, so I literally just Googled.
What does it say? What does it say?
There's no scientific evidence to support claims that drinking urine is beneficial.
Your first urine of the day.
Yeah.
That's the key word.
Should you be mixing your morning pee into your morning smoothie? Probably not. So your teacher was essentially trying to poison you.
You want to know something? He was I went to this school and it was not a good school. Then I moved to a different school, but he was a chiropractor, and that's probably why he said that.
Why?
He was a chiropractor, and then like shit didn't work out for him because obviously he's saying things like that. And
he's literally trying to make y'all sick.
But on top of that, it's like,
you're a teacher. You're
a chiropractor
to drink
teaching
pee.
chemistry.
And you're telling your students to drink pee. So like, let's just look at all of that. You know what I mean? Man. You know what? It's good. And now you study cells in a laboratory.
Yeah.
It's funny the paths that you take to get to where you are.
I know. Good thing I never tried to drink my pee.
I know. Oh my God. I will be. I do have to say one last thing. I will be when I give birth to a child.
You're going to eat your placenta.
Life. I am 100%. It's going to
go. Well, you know what they do is you're going to dry it. You're going to and then pound it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll feed it to you too. And then we can be.
You do make really good smoothies. So if you put it in there and
you won't even know.
I won't know.
You're just going to be like glowing.
But it's really good for you. Yeah.
Exactly. So whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, let's talk about the Black Mailbox and our journey. Yeah. So Jamie, how did it all begin? Where did we even learn about the Black Mailbox?
Okay. Where to begin? So we were at a club, and I remember the night starting off like this. We were out in your back patio. There were coyotes howling at the moon, and we were rolling our own cigarettes, and your cousin, who is from outer space, was visiting LA, and he was with us, and we took him out to have some fun. While we were having fun, we talked about aliens because your family has a lot of really cool experiences with aliens.
Yeah, we've all had some weird interaction of some kind. I'm not going to say fourth or fifth kind per se, but definitely like first kind, first kind.
Yeah. And he was telling us all this crazy stuff. One of the topics was on the Black Mailbox. At that point of time, I don't remember a lot about the Black Mailbox and what he said.
All he said was we should.
There was a place,
the Black Mailbox, but then we didn't really.
He was like very mysterious about it. He was very like the Black Mailbox and like these people,
and we were just like,
what?
The Black Mailbox? Yeah. So basically, the night ensued. We got trashed. Sun was coming up. I was already but we never spoke about it again. And then
never spoke about it.
Jamie and I naturally were planning our next like week trip together because we do that like every month. We hang out and meet up. And we were just like, yeah, we're going to drive to go see the Black Mailbox without knowing anything about it or any of the lore or the conspiracy theories. Still don't, to be honest. I actually did like a really light little breeze through on Wikipedia. I think it's like some random farmer's mailbox, and someone has turned it into.
What is it?
It's nothing. I don't know.
You guys,
you know what? Please fill us in if you know anything. We literally drove 6 hours, which ended up taking 8 hours.
I was gonna say it took us
it took 12. Us 8 hours because we decided to use this app called Waze, and I'm calling you out Waze because you guys suck. It took us in some wrong directions, and it took us 8 hours to get to the Black Mailbox. And then we also made a reservation at the Little Ailey Inn, which we decided we didn't want to stay at because it ended up just being like a trailer where we would be sharing a bathroom with strangers. And we didn't feel safe. We didn't
feel safe. There was no internet, there was no phone service. And also when I went into the room, I literally looked at myself in the mirror, and this happens quite often, but this one was a little bit more jarring than the usual. But I swear to God, like my face was morphing and so was yours. And then I heard
that could be a personal problem, Jamie.
I think that's what I'm saying. Like it's nothing new.
Could just be you know, let's
But
you were like, we need to get out of here.
We need to get out of
here. My
face
just morphed in the mirror.
My face just morphed. I'm trying to drink a beer because I need to take the fucking edge off. And
yeah, it was creepy. It was creepy. Look, it was no shade to small businesses, but like advertise yourself properly.
Don't false advertise.
Yeah, if we're spending $100 to stay somewhere.
Yeah.
Well,
it's like what do you expect nowadays for $100? You know what I mean?
You know, I really, again, not great with money. Didn't really think about that. I was like, $100? We should have
deal. Let's fucking do it. You guys, and on top of that, like we were so excited. We drove, and I only had like literally 3 hours of sleep because I flew in, and I just remember being like, we're going to drive there. This is me talking to myself. Jamie, we're going to drive there and we're going to film, and then we're going to have so much fun at this whatever
like
place.
To the aliens.
We're going to go on walks at nighttime.
Yeah.
Films the stars.
We were going to do some like C5 meditation and see if we could see some UFOs. Yeah. We're in the middle of nowhere. We were so excited. We literally got up at 5 a.m. to drive. That's how excited we were.
Dreams, hopes.
Shattered.
Fucking burned to the ground.
Yeah.
Shattered.
Heartbreak.
So we saw the Black Mailbox, and but we also went into this gift store on the way to the alien, and we go inside, and it's like totally outrageous.
We got some cute merch.
We got some cute merch, but we're talking to the lady. The lady's like, because we were like out of our minds at this point, and she said, "Where are you guys coming from?" Like, because you guys obviously drove, because we said something about how long we were driving, and she was like, "Where did you guys come from?" And we're like, "Oh yeah, we came from LA." And she's like, "And you said you were driving for how long?" And we're like 8 hours. And she's like, "What?" She made me my head fell off.
I know you actually you were glitching. You were like, you just started glitching. Like your sentences weren't coming out anymore. You were like, what?
And they rarely do. They I don't have, my brain is working on one cell all the time. But like when she said that, I seriously was like,
it was supposed to take 4 hours. Yeah. I think we went into a wormhole. I think that we were abducted by aliens and dropped back out. And I'm
just waiting to see like memories come flooding.
Yeah. I'm waiting for the memories to come.
Like me being probed or something, like having a great time.
Honestly, at this rate, I feel like we're literally calling it into our lives. Excuse me.
Check. Come in.
We're waiting. We want to get out of here.
Yeah. Probe me up.
But anyway, you know, there is a bright side to this whole story, and it's my favorite thing ever. So Jamie was like, we need to get the fuck out of here. I actually was contemplating us staying, but at the end of the day, she was right. It was sketch. Just didn't get good vibes. So
Oh,
she was like, we
can-
need to turn around and go back to LA. And I was like, we're gonna drive 6 hours back home right now. And she's like, yeah. So we order French fries, we eat them, we leave the key on the table and just book it. And of course, the fucking guy who's running the place is like running after us, like, you left your key, like probably trying to be nice, like, oh no, these girls forgot their key. Meanwhile, we're literally just running away. Don't worry, we paid for the room. It's not like we were being assholes, but we ran. We were like,
Yeah,
we need to get the
we
fuck
ran.
out of here. So we just like are on the road. Jamie's at the wheel. She's being a fucking hellhound, like
Yep.
just zooming by the
Pedal
sun.
to the fucking metal.
Pedal to the fucking metal. The sun is setting. It's like beautiful. We're like talking about ghost stories and shit. Like obviously,
Our
probably we were
lives.
talking about other places we should visit.
Yeah.
And then I was like, Jamie, we have to stop at my favorite candy store ever. And I don't even like candy. This is the
Well, no,
only
wait.
time.
I just want to drop something in really quick because
Yeah.
when we were on the way there, you had mentioned it. And this
Oh
is
yeah,
like,
yeah. No, I
this is
mentioned it
literally-
the whole time because
The
I
whole
was
time.
weirded out that we didn't pass it on the way there.
Yes.
It's called Eddie World. If you know, you know. LA
Fucking
folks
Eddie.
who have driven to like out of LA on the highway, you pass Eddie World. There's a big ice cream cone and they have so much candy in there and beef jerky and like crunchy snacks. And believe you me, it's the one place that I want to eat candy. And
fucking Eddie World.
and that's what we did. We drove back and we went to fucking Eddie World and it was genius. And we ate pickles and beef jerky and sour
We're really
grape.
dehydrated.
Oh yeah, it was. And then we actually got home. We put on face masks and we fell asleep on my couch watching a really good horror movie.
Which one did we watch?
It was the
Oh
house.
yeah. Winchester.
Winchester. You guys
which
should check
is
it out.
so
We're gonna go
scary.
visit it, by the way. That's
Yeah.
on our list. On that note, should we bring in our special guest? All right, so we would love to welcome our special guest of episode 2, Oracle, who is a spiritual and metaphysical TikTok creator. Hello, Oracle.
Hi, thanks for having
Hello.
me.
Thank you so much for joining us on this beautiful Saturday.
Oh yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So, would you like to share with everyone how we got connected? It was actually a TikTok video.
Yeah, I posted a TikTok video about a certain experience that I had, and y'all contacted me and said, we'd like to learn more and have you on, and it seems to have just worked out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Can you tell us about that video and your experience?
All right, yeah. So I kind of did not expect this video to get as popular as it did because it is kind of a crazy story. So this was a story that happened to me. It was about in 2015 when in the video, I preface it by saying, this is a story about when I saw a lizard person or reptilian. And I do want to just like preface this by saying that when I posted it, I was unaware of some of the conspiracy theories surrounding lizard people and reptilians. I was unaware of some of the anti-Semitism surrounding these conspiracy theories, and I don't support any of that. So what I can do is sort of retell this and sort of tell you what I saw and what I experienced, and sort of let people draw their own conclusions, if you will.
Thank you for the disclaimer.
Yeah, so back in 2015, I was working in a thrift store in Massachusetts, and I was working by myself. And it was a normal Saturday afternoon. There's a couple people in the store when a woman came into the store, who appeared to be, if I can remember, right, she was white, maybe like in her 50s, short hair, and from me looking at her, I was like, wow, she looks like she's kind of messed up right now. Like she looks like she's on drugs. And she was sort of making a disturbance, and the other customers awkwardly left as she was in the process of buying a necklace. And I was just kind of like, okay, yes, sell her the necklace. Let's kind of, move along so we're not disturbing the other customers. And we had this really weird moment where she asked me to put the necklace on her. And instead of like turning around backwards, like you might do if you ask someone to put a necklace on you, she was still like facing me.
Mhm.
And I was like,
That's awkward.
okay, yeah,
Close.
I'm just gonna like reach around.
Definitely pre-COVID.
Definitely pre-COVID. So like as I leaned into this individual, it was like pushing through like some sort of barrier where all of a sudden what was in front of me was not a human anymore, and it was definitely something non-human, humanoid with sort of like red tiled skin and like sort of a snout, and I got the impression that it was like breathing, like its breathing was labored, and maybe it wasn't doing very well, or maybe that's just how their species breathes. I'm not sure. And I just clipped the necklace and like leaned back, and I think she realized that she had just made a mistake and maybe gotten a little bit too close to a human, because she was immediately like, okay, bye, and like left really fast.
Oh my God.
And I was quite panicked, and I shut the door after her and locked it and went underneath the counter of the store and was like hyperventilating.
Absolutely. I can't even imagine. Was there any scent involved? Did he like pick up on any scent?
I don't remember a scent, no.
Wow.
So what I envision is the background right now, how you kind of blurred, is like that's kind of like the zone that you entered into her, or this person's kind of zone.
Like going through the
just like going through this kind of like
the facade.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I call to mind like maybe like I'm always looking for a scientific explanation, let's say there is technology that can create a holographic field around somebody, to make them look different.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. Did you have any like after this experience happened, did you have anything weird happen afterwards, like relating to this incident, like dreams or any kind of like a mood shift or nothing?
No.
And was this just like your only experience with a reptilian?
Yeah.
Well, and yeah. Oh wow.
Well, or with this was my only experience with a being that looked like this.
Yeah.
In the physical realm or astral realm, actually.
Yeah.
So tell us, actually, on that note, astral realm is something that you have experience with, astral projection, right? I would love for you to tell us about your relationship to that.
Yeah. So interesting.
That's sort of my claim to fame, if you will.
Wow. Yeah. Tell us. Expertise.
Yeah.
I can astral project easily through meditation. And this, started happening involuntarily to me. And so it was really sort of scary and spooky at first. And I learned through meditation sort of how to control it, and then how to go to different, we say astral realm, but it's really astral realms. There's many different planes of existence layered on top of this one.
What does that look like?
Yeah.
What is it like? I mean, I have zero understanding of what that, I can't comprehend that. So
right.
You could,
yeah.
Describe that.
I mean, the idea behind astral projection is that you're moving your consciousness outside of your body. And the thing that is a little bit weird with this is like, I wish I could take my oddballs with me. So I don't have my five senses. I'm purely relying on my sixth sense to experience these other dimensional realities. And I think this is why when people astral project, they often have slightly different experiences too, because it's all based on how we're perceiving with our energy as opposed to with our five senses.
Okay. How long have you been practicing this? How did you get to the point you are now?
How did you discover it? Yeah.
So back in, when did this start happening? It was it started happening probably around 2011, and then 2012 I really had a spiritual awakening. And this came about because I was diagnosed with a seizure disorder in 2011. And when I was having an episode, I would find myself outside of my body.
Wow.
Okay.
And during seizures. And I think that it was something my body just started doing as a way to sort of alleviate some of the discomfort that I was feeling.
Yeah.
And as a sort of a self-preservation method. But then I was like, oh, what is happening? What is this thing? And that was also around the time where I started being able to see spirits, even when I wasn't astral projecting. And it was one of those things where it felt like something I had always known, but just kind of ignored my whole life. And then was like, oh yeah, okay.
When you're finally on the brink and your body is just had enough, that's how you're saying it, like it kind of came to be, like you couldn't ignore it anymore, right?
Yeah.
Wow.
Can we dive into a little bit more of this, you seeing spirits? And I think that before we had talked originally, you had talked about demonology. Can we touch base on that?
Sure.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like this is something that Jamie and I talk about often.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't
like-
know anything.
So
we don't know anything.
But it's very interesting to me. And I feel like you have all these different little pockets that you are in, which I think is super rad, and you're very open. So I kind of want to know like your history and experience with that, if you could explain a little bit.
Yeah.
Are you asking about like demons specifically?
Yeah. I guess, right, like when we had talked, you kind of briefly mentioned that you do have a background in like, demonology or like something with demons.
Does that
right?
follow under this? Does that fall under the same category as like seeing spirits?
Yeah.
Do you also, is that like entities in a sense?
I suppose. I mean, if you get into demons, I feel like you have to really define what is a demon.
Okay.
And everyone's going to have a different definition of that. We have this very Christian idea of what a demon is, I feel like, in our society, which is largely mythology. And if you start looking at demons, there's legends all around the world. And if we're talking about demons specifically, I mean, I feel like when it comes to spirits and other entities on different dimensions as us, anything that is on a low vibrational frequency dimension could be perceived as demonic, according to the mythologies.
Okay.
So in terms of different dimensions, so just for example, I'll use myself because I can only use myself in this example. So the way that you're describing like different dimensions and our perception of beings here now as us, can I perceive myself without any particular gift that you might have? Can I perceive different entities in this dimension, but they're in another dimension? See, I don't understand.
Like a veil, like seeing beyond the veil is what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Well,
I don't know.
Yeah. So
that's
if you're
not what I'm saying. I don't know.
No, it's not what you don't know, but that's what it is. It's like if you were here and you're trying to see.
Well, we perceive multiple dimensions, correct? Do we, or no, or one?
We see multiple dimensions, right?
I think we can see multiple dimensions.
Absolutely.
I think a lot of people do.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you do.
Yeah, I can.
Wow.
So like,
how
if
do you
went
know that specifically? What does that specifically look like?
So I mean, I've worked with dimensional travel a lot with my astral projecting. When I first started astral projecting, I was coming out on what I thought was maybe just one plane of existence. And I sort of had this idea in my head that we had sort of like our reality and then across the veil, which was like non-corporeal.
Yeah.
But as I started exploring, I have since sort of altered my theories about that. And God, I would love to talk to some like theoretical scientist about this. Give me a theoretical physicist who knows about string theory or something. And
wow.
okay, let me tell you
Yeah.
my ideas.
We have to find one for the pod and then we'll connect you guys.
Yeah. So now I have this theory that there are multiple dimensional realities layered on top of each other, you know, and human beings exist on just one of these
Yeah.
realities. And what we can perceive with our five senses is actually quite limited. But humans, of course, have a sixth sense, and that's where we get a lot of I think everyone has a sixth sense. If someone's staring at you and they're behind you, you know
You
it.
know.
Like
Jamie and I were actually, right before we started recording, we both dreamt about the same person.
ooh,
And yeah, I know, it's crazy. We're always discussing these things because they're always strange synchronicities, but I think that's kind of like an example of an unexplained kind of sixth sense of awareness, I'd say.
Yeah, I think it's not it's everyone, just like you said, everyone has it, and it's more or less like, are you willing to acknowledge it and open it up and actually put it to practice? Because that's the thing, like as a human being, we all have certain things that we need to put in practice, but we ignore.
Meditation is a great
lifestyle
example.
things as well, you know what I mean?
Habits.
Exactly. So this is one that we do have. Our brains are able to do it. We have scientific background of this, and it's whether or not like we are willing to actually put it to practice. It's hard to do with anything, you know. Exercise is hard, and that's what we were doing. You're exercising this sixth sense, and so like the more you get to a good, you know, practice, I think that the more you see is pretty amazing. And it's just like opens, and it just opens and keeps on opening. And that's kind of what you're doing right now. And we're seeing is rad. So
keep explaining, please.
Well, just on that note too, I think it's really important to practice with people too, so you get that validation, because a lot of times if you're kind of practicing on your own, you get into this weird headspace of like gaslighting yourself as to whether or not something is real.
Absolutely.
And I remember I had a lot of my very validating experiences was like one day, like I went to a beach with a friend of mine who could also see energy, and we were just looking at people's auras on the beach. It's really easy to see people's auras when you're at the beach. Is it? Yeah. So you just people watch.
Wow.
And you sort of soften your eyes, like you don't like focus on anyone, and you can start to see hazy outlines around people.
Wow.
And if you do that with a friend, you can start to be like, oh, that one's purple. And they're like, yep. You know, that one, you know.
Do you have like a community that you rely on to so you feel like you can validate what you sense?
I have, yeah.
That's important.
That's cool. That's awesome. Cool. That's rad. Do you have any other? Do you want to tell us anything else, or give us some more stories, or do you have any questions, Rebs?
Yeah, I mean, I just want to keep hearing more about your perception of other dimensions. I mean, seriously, just go further into that.
Can I say one thing? You know that movie?
I want to hear more. It's so cool.
Movie Insidious.
Oh,
I didn't watch that.
I love that's one of my favorite horror movies.
Really scary, but it's all about that. It's like
I can't do stuff like that.
Getting
it's too
lost.
Real.
It's about a little boy getting lost
because he's gone
the astral
for a
realm.
long time out of his body, and like it's so
in a
crazy.
Coma.
You know which movie I love is Doctor Strange.
Oh, Doctor Strange. Yeah,
love Doctor Strange.
Yeah.
So I mean, tell us more. I just want to know. This is so fascinating to me.
Yeah. Well, I guess when I first started astral projecting, I was, I'm going to say, coming out on sort of low vibrational frequency dimension. So if you could picture like a skyscraper with an elevator, and maybe like your body is the elevator and your consciousness is your person, and then you can just sort of get out on these different floors, and each one is a different vibration. Each one is a different reality with its own ecosystem.
Okay.
And so when I first started doing this, I was seeing a lot of sort of more spooky shit, I guess, ghosts and shadow people and stuff like that. And it was even a little bit traumatic. So I got.
Did you ever experience like sleep paralysis or anything like that?
I've talked to a lot of people who have had sleep paralysis. There's definitely been a lot of times where I'm sort of half awake and I can't move my body. And
Terrifying.
I can sort of like hear something.
Ugh, that's happened to me once, and it to this day was one of the most terrifying experiences of my life. Just I was awake, but I couldn't move my body or open my eyes, and I heard voices in the room, but I knew that there was no one in my apartment.
Yeah.
Ooh, anyway, continue.
So my theory with sleep paralysis is that you are halfway astral projected, and that's why you're a little bit stuck, and that's why you can't move your physical body, is because you're trying to move your astral body. And so the connections are not happening.
Okay.
And what
That's
you're
a good
hearing
analogy.
is whatever, dimension that you are sort of halfway slipping into with your astral body is you're perceiving any spirits or beings that might be there.
Okay.
Wow. Okay,
when you
that's nice to know that that's what was going on, because that's what it felt like was going on, and it freaked me out. I remember those voices, and oh my god.
Yeah, that's pretty intense.
What kind of
It's like
meditation do you
sleeping.
do, by the way?
Yeah.
Out of
Let's talk about
curiosity.
meditation.
Well, I mean, I do it every day too, and I'm
Really?
yeah, I do
Oh
every
man,
day.
I'm so bad. I don't meditate.
Oh, you don't?
I mean, sometimes, yeah, once in a while I will.
When you're trying to, how often do you astral project?
I honestly have been taking a little bit of a break from it. But I used to do it briefly, kind of just like maybe every 3 days, just to sort of hop out and check my psychic wards and shields, make sure everything's still functioning, check in with my spirit guides, see what's going on. I do really enjoy going out into the woods and meditating and astral projecting. And one of my favorite meditations is just what I call a light meditation, where I call in light energy and just sort of infuse my body and the area with light energy, which is like a high vibrational frequency, universal energy.
Do you envision like light, and you kind of try to envision pushing it outward? Because that's what I do when I'm trying to do something, what I guess would be similar to that.
Yeah. I don't use my own energy. I pull it in from either, the earth or the heavens or, somewhere else.
Do you feel like you get messages when you do this?
Sometimes I have. Yeah.
Do you ask for things when you do this?
Sometimes.
Like, do you? Yeah.
Yeah.
What is that
Answers
like? Does that,
or what?
Yeah. Does that actually manifest, or is it like, do you know what I mean? Like if you were to go to sleep, or you're doing this kind of meditation, and you're like, I have an intent, I have a goal, I need to find some kind of an answer to whatever's going on right now. Does it usually come to you?
Sometimes. Like I love talking to my spirit guides about stuff. And I think that the tricky part when sort of looking for answers like that is that people have to be able to use their telepathic skill sets. So if you're sort of not accustomed to using telepathy, it can be a bit tricky to discern your own thoughts from your spirit guide's thoughts, or from any answers that might be coming in.
Yeah.
Also, in terms of just like simple, low vibrational egoic stuff that comes up.
Yeah.
Which I think I definitely I struggle with. I'm like, is this just me trying to cop out because I'm scared, and it's just my like child self? I don't know. That's something I think about.
Yeah, that can happen too. I mean, one time recently I was telling my spirit guides that I needed to manifest some money. and it was just something I feel like a lot of people try to manifest.
That's my thing
all the time.
This year.
Yeah.
2022 is the year of making money, honey.
Yeah.
What's so funny is that like they don't really get the human experience, right? And they're just like, what is money? And I was like,
oh my God.
So kind of like explain it, and they think about it, and then the answer that I got was, money isn't real.
Word.
Don't worry about it.
And yet it's so real in this dimension.
I'm like, well, in this dimension, in the Matrix,
in this dimension, yeah, you need it to like live, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's
so
funny.
Sometimes, I don't get the answers that I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
Like, thanks, guys. That's
real
useful.
helpful.
useful. Let me just go gather some leaves real quick and like use them as currency.
Oh yes,
No big deal.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm gonna spring for that latte.
yeah. Perfect. Okay. Is there anything else anyone
Yeah,
wants
are there
to-
any last things you'd like to share with us about your gifts? I remember you also mentioned that you are clairvoyant. Well, I guess we've covered that, but I guess using that
Yeah.
term specifically.
Right.
What does that mean to you to be clairvoyant?
To be clairvoyant means that you can sort of perceive energy and spirits visually. There's 5 types of clair somethings, and I'm not going to remember all of them. But
Clairsentient,
clairsentient, clair auditory,
clairaudient.
something.
Yeah.
Some people hear stuff. Some people
Right.
feel stuff.
Right.
I do tend to see.
Wow.
I guess silhouettes. You know, like I'll be sort of looking around, and there'll just be sort of like it's sort of like a blurry, like my black background, like. But if you just I saw like a blurry like silhouette right there.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And
I actually, that's cool. I was telling this to Jamie not too long ago, but I took a solo trip to Mexico.
Ooh.
And I do it once in a while just to recharge myself, be alone, away from people. I need to. And I think that I must have some kind of clairvoyance, because I do tend to see things, and then I'll call Jamie and be like, I think that I woke up and I saw like some creature kind of like lounging and watching me sleep, and I wasn't scared, but I looked at it, and then I had this great idea for a story that I want to write about a demon, or not necessarily a demon, but a being that's like in love with a human, but they can't access us.
Oh, that sounds great. Yeah.
Right. I was like, I felt like I was like, I saw this like kind of shape kind of looking down, and I just felt like this like a crush energy. I was like, unless then again, there's my ego coming in being like, Rebecca, you could also just be having a dream. I don't know. Or just making stories up in my head.
Or it was your spirit guide, you know, standing guard, and you were perceiving their love for you. Maybe it's not necessarily romantic, but I think the biggest message.
I like that too. That's comforting.
Yeah, I like that. That's really nice. Yeah.
And then I'll write the romance though, because
the romance is a must.
Who doesn't love a good romance?
I love the idea of a demon idolizing you or worshiping you, and then
but like they can't really act that the love is never gonna like come to fruition because we're on different dimensions. But like there's one moment in time where we can see each other for like one day.
I'm reading the fanfic right now.
I'm writing this 100%. Great.
Yeah, whenever I see other people's spirit guides, I will sort of ask them, like, do you have a message for this person? And my hair's getting blurred out. Anyway, most like 90% of the time, the message is just tell them how much we love them and care for them. Like they are operating like I think the way that most humans operate, the way that we feel and perceive love is really limited compared to beings on other dimensions, especially our spirit guides, who have not been sort of conditioned with our societal view of what it is to be loved.
That's beautiful. I love that we are going to end our episode on a note of love, which is the answer to the universe, in my opinion.
Yes.
But
love
anyway,
is our number one currency.
Love is. And
fuck
Oracle,
money.
Money is just a dumb thing we have to deal with.
I love it though. Sue me.
But anyway, Oracle, thank you so much for taking time out of your day today to share your knowledge and experiences with us. They're highly valuable. They have sparked interest. Absolutely. I hope that maybe one day you can come on again and we can maybe have what kind of scientist did you want to connect to?
I don't know. theoretical physicist of some sort.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing a little research.
Be like, let's talk
We're
about
gonna do some
dimensions.
digging for you and see if we
Yeah,
can get this.
let's do a whole episode on dimensions.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's gonna be really rad.
Okay,
Yeah,
rad.
thanks so much for talking with us.
Thanks for having me again.
Yes.
And it was a pleasure talking with both of y'all.
Yes, thank
It was
you
a
so
pleasure,
much.
Oracle.
Yeah.
May the peace be with you. That's
Live long and prosper.
hell yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Bye.